Good morning, everybody. How we doing? This is Dave Ettinger, the host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. It's a Monday morning. We got a lot to shake our heads about today. Holy crap. Alright, so the question is, where do we start? Where do we continue? Where do we finish? There's three stories to talk about today. It all wants to make you shake your head. Let's start with the man running across the street, even though the light's been green for 7 seconds. Good thing I'm paying attention and I wait for you. It's your crosswalk, not mine. Anyway, so let's start with, actually, I lied to you guys. I told you there was going to be a Saturday edition of Dave Talk Sports podcast. It didn't happen. I did not work in the city. I didn't have a long drive, so while I could have done it from the comfort of my own home, my apologies, it just didn't happen. It probably would have been 20 minutes of me venting about the Yankees getting absolutely shellacked 2 games in a row by the Red Sox, and you guys didn't want that. All right, now I got a guy so far up my butt here that he might as well have just hit the car. I don't know what's going on here today. Good Monday morning to you. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at DaveEttinger2. You're right here on the Dave Talk Sports YouTube channel. You can subscribe right below the video. All that good stuff. Leave the comments down there. I'll take constructive criticism. I'll take suggestions. I'll take advice. And just questions you want answered, whatever it is, or you just want to give your take, whatever it is. Give it to me on Twitter, YouTube, all of the above. It's all good. So, Yankees, a little bit. Mets, talking Mets today, you got that right. And then we're talking a pitcher. No, it's all about the pitchers today. A pitcher that hasn't lost, he didn't just lose his mind yesterday because it's already been lost. I think it's already been gone. And his name is the one, the only, Trevor Bauer. He's crazy. And it's not just yesterday that has me saying that. And I will get to that, I promise you. But there's only one place to start. And that's the New York Mets. I'm hearing mixed reviews of this trade, and that also confuses me. So for those who don't know or are waking up to the news or saw it yesterday, Marcus Stroman, in the weak pitching market that is the trade market for pitchers, Marcus Stroman was the strongest, if not one of the strongest pitching candidates to be traded. And he was traded yesterday. But the fact that he got traded to the Mets makes no sense. I'm getting people, and I think they're just Met fans. I don't think they're being reasonable or rational that are telling me that they now control the trade market for pitchers. How is that the takeaway here? That makes no freaking sense. So, we trade for a pitcher just so then we think we have all the pitchers that anybody would ever want? No! That makes no sense. First of all, you're getting the rest of this year and next year of Marcus Stroman. Okay, he's only 28. That's fine. But again, my favorite term in life, read the room. If the Mets can't look in the mirror and realize that they're just not that good, then I can't help them. You can't help them. Nobody, not Marcus Stroman, not anybody can help them. Now, I'm happy for Marcus Stroman. He's made it very clear that he wanted to pitch in New York, probably for the other team in New York, the Yankees. But he's probably happy to be back in New York because he's a Long Island guy. You and me both, brother. So congratulations to Marcus Stroman to coming home. He always said he appreciated and enjoyed Toronto, so maybe he liked it there. But I'm sure he's very happy to be coming home. All right, so as a Yankee fan, I would have been happy with Marcus Stroman ending up on the Yankees. Not because he's an ace, he's not, but because he was essentially the best pitcher that's actually on the market. A month or two ago, people thought Max Scherzer might be on the market. He's clearly not, because the Nationals are actually real. Madison Bumgarner, he thought was going to be on the market as of 2 to 3 weeks ago. But the San Francisco Giants seemingly forgot how to lose also, so he's not on the market. Now, Trevor Bauer, who we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes, is he on the market? Do you really want him? He's got a screw loose, this guy. So we'll get to that as well. Now, the Mets trade 2 pitching prospects that are not ranked overall in the prospects anywhere near worth talking about, but they're top 10 prospects within the Mets organization. An 18-year-old and a 24-year-old, both pitching prospects, who one hasn't pitched above high A ball and one hasn't, even just made it to AAA this past year. So that's fine. While they're both top 10 prospects in the Mets organization, neither have pitched all that well. So, they also get some money back. It covers some of, I think it's $1.5 million to cover part of Stroman's salary. And that's all fine. Stroman's a fine pitcher. But what are you doing? You trade prospects when you're close, when you're 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 players away. The Mets are not that. I've been saying this for weeks. They should be sellers, first of all. They should be trading everything not tied down, building as many young players, major league ready players or top prospects, bringing in as many of those guys as they possibly can. Not trading away prospects. I mean, this reminds me, please, hit me with your car. Hit me with your car. You won't. I mean, come on. I'm in a lane. You guys get some of my frustration on the road. That's real. This is real, by the way. I'm not, this is not fabricated. I mean, I don't get it. I'm here. I'm in my car. You just do whatever you want, I guess. Anyway, we're at a red light here so we can look at you. This is the Dave Talk Sports podcast. I've honestly lost track of what episode we're on. I want to say 28, maybe 29. We'll find out later when I get home. And I'm your host, Dave Ettinger. You can find this right here on the YouTube Dave Talk Sports channel. You can find me on Twitter as well at Dave Ettinger2. And my Facebook and website, both named Dave Talk Sports. So, again, I don't get it for the Mets. I really don't. I'm not a Mets fan, but it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Brody Van Wagenen is the general manager. He's clearly got the ear of the Wilpons, the owners, and he's convinced them that they can win. He still thinks they can win because they've won a couple games here, right? They came out of the All-Star break. They played a little bit better. They beat the Marlins in a series. Then they just beat the Pirates in a series. Took a couple games off the Twins. But they're still under 500. And it's not about how many games they are out of the wild card because there's 2 wild cards. So everybody, not named the Marlins, is technically not that many games out of the second wild card. But again, everybody is close in that regard. So it's about who you have to leapfrog. I mean, we're talking about teams like the Nationals and the Braves, whoever doesn't win their division. I mean, we're talking about the Cubs and the Cardinals, and we're talking about real teams that are 7 games above 500 right now. It's just, you gotta be able to read the room. So I just don't get it. Now everyone wants to say, well, it's not a finished product. Let's see what happens over the next 2 days because the trade deadline is Wednesday. I'm not holding judgment. I'm not withholding my judgment until then. The Mets are an epic disaster failure. While Stroman's a nice pitcher, he's only 28. It's not like he's under contract for the next 4 years, because then I would almost get it still. This makes no bleepity sense. Alright, so keep those bleeps and expletives in mind, because now we're going to Trevor Bauer. Alright, a potential trade chip in the starting pitching market, maybe. Pitches for the Cleveland Indians. This guy has shown that he flashes of being an absolute stud on the mound. Can be a Cy Young candidate. Can be. Maybe. But there's one problem. He is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I don't think there's a solution for that right now. So Trevor Bauer pitched yesterday. And again, this is not the reason why. I think he's nuts. He's done many things. I mean, including, this is before I worked on the show that I work on now at CBS Sports Radio Network. But he got into a Twitter beef with the old board op and producer on the show that I work on. And he ended up blocking the show on Twitter. Because he wasn't involved in the Twitter poll that the show put online of who was going to win the Cy Young. And his name wasn't one of the 4. As you know, you can only put 4 spots in a poll on Twitter. So his name wasn't one of the 1 names in that poll. And apparently took that personally. Got at the show that I work on at CBS Sports Radio Network. Ended up blocking the show on Twitter. I mean, that's mature. So, Trevor Bauer was pitching yesterday against the Royals. Trevor Bauer was going along okay until about midway through the game. Decided it was time to implode. Implode he did. So Terry Francona decides he's had enough. He's given up enough runs. He's blown our lead. It's time to take him out of the game. Now, you can be upset. You can be angry. You can show emotion. I'm not asking you guys to be emotional robot athletes and just hand the ball and go, oh, ho hum, like Eli Manning and go, and just walk and sit down. No, you can show some emotion, good, bad, or whatever. But there's a difference between showing emotion, maybe taking out a Gatorade or water cooler in the dugout, maybe throwing your mitt against the wall. Trevor Bauer turned around from a couple of feet behind the mound when Terry Francona was walking out to take him out of the game and threw the baseball approximately 350 feet to dead center and threw the baseball literally from just behind the mound over the fence in center field. I'm going to post a link to this video on Twitter at Dave Ettinger 2 because it's worth a watch. It's unbelievable. First of all, what are you doing? Control yourself, but that's crazy. All right, fine. You're an emotional guy. You're pissed off. You sucked, and also now you're getting taken out of the game. Okay, fine. You see one of his players in the infield flinch, oh my God, what's happening? And then even the runner from the Royals on second base goes and flinches as well. And then you get the center fielder who is walking back towards the center field wall, sees the ball, and it turns around did I just miss a home run? Was I not paying attention? Am I about to get chewed out? What just happened here? And then he realizes that Trevor Bauer has gone Christian Bale and psycho on us and run around town trying to, figure out what his real name is. I mean, just bananas. I think I don't want to make light of this if there's really something wrong with him, like psychologically. But it seems like he has a deeper issue, and like there's really legitimately something wrong with Trevor Bauer mentally. And I hope not. I hope he's just an emotional guy who's just a little off balance, but I'm not sure. It's not a good situation, I don't think. Now, does this hurt his trade value? I mean, it shouldn't, but it might. I mean, people want to live in the moment. They live in the instantaneous reaction of, I need it now. So, what's Trevor Bauer done for you lately? It's not be a top 5 pitcher in the league. It's implode against a bad Royals team and then launch a ball 350 feet over the center field fence. So why am I going to trade for a head case? That's what Trevor Bauer has done for you lately. I think that's ridiculous. You should take the full body of work of what he's done, but we'll see what teams do. So that brings us to the Yankees. I've been saying for weeks now, they need a starting pitcher in the trade market. After the beginning of the Red Sox series, that seemed even more apparent and more evident that that's exactly what they need. But with Marcus Stroman heading to Queens, who are the Yankees really going to trade for? Like, who excites you in the trade market if Bumgarner's not available? And say Bauer doesn't get traded. Scherzer's not available. Stroman's gone. So you're telling me that the best starting pitcher you could trade for is Matthew Boyd? The Tigers? No thanks. I'm good. Again, I've said this before also. I think that trading for one of the Mets pitchers would be great. But the Yankees are not, and the Mets are not making a trade. It's just not happening. Like, I'd take Syndergaard in a heartbeat. You could have Clint Frazier. You could have a Chance Adams. You could take some money, too, if you need. I'll go in my pocket right now and have some money. But I don't think the Mets and the Yankees are trading. Zach Wheeler I don't love, but I'd even take him. Boyd. I don't need him. I don't need Mike Minor because he's having a good year. I don't need that. That doesn't help. Now, I don't think the Yankees need to bolster their bullpen anymore. But if the trade market for starting pitchers is that pile of crap, maybe they can go out and get Kirby Yates. I know he's got like 31 or something saves, and he's been one of the best closers in baseball this year on a pretty mediocre team. But you might as well bolster the bullpen if you can't get a real starting pitcher. It's an upgrade. An upgrade's an upgrade. If you can get Kirby Yates and get Betances back instead of Nestor Cortez Jr. and Stephen Tarpley, that's an upgrade. That's called an upgrade. Let me upgrade you. I mean, why not? So the trade deadline for Major League Baseball is just 2 days away. To be perfectly, brutally honest, I have no freaking clue what's going to happen. I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. I thought Stroman was the answer. But the Mets? I hope my confusion for what the Mets are doing has really come through in this video. I just think it's Brody trying to save his own job and continuing to have the ear of the owners saying we can win. And saying, well, we got a 28-year-old starting pitcher who's pretty good, and look at his ERA right now, it's under 3. That's great and all, but he's not an ace. He's not under team control for multiple years. You're trading away multiple prospects. Your prospects and your farm system are not tremendous to begin with. Even though, by the way, the 2 prospects, well, they traded away 3 prospects, but the 2 major prospects they traded in the Edwin Diaz, Robinson Cano trade are both killing it. They're both in the top 100 of prospects for this year. One of them, Kalenic, is like 24th on the top 100 prospect list. All these guys being traded to the Mariners. Justin Dunn was the other. So, this is a little example of you. It's not that you traded the best prospects in baseball, but it's what you're trading them for and why you're trading them. Why are you trading for a 36-year-old Robinson Cano and paying $12 million per year of that salary? I have no freaking clue. Why are you taking on Edwin Diaz, who's a closer, who clearly this year has shown you it's the most volatile position in all of sports? I have no freaking clue. Even yesterday, he gets a save. But did you know that the Mets were up 8-5 and only won 8-7 because he gave up a 2-run home run before he earned a save? If you didn't watch the Mets, like most people weren't, you didn't know that. And why are you trading two of your top prospects for a pitcher who would help you win now when you're nowhere near the freaking playoffs? I have no freaking clue. Now, on that note, that settles, or doesn't settle, my confusion about the New York Mets and why they continue to Mets things up. Also, talked about Trevor Bauer. There were a lot of expletives flying around. It's because Terry Francona, when I forgot to mention, when he came out, Trevor Bauer launches the ball over the center field wall. And when Terry Francona gets out there, he literally goes, "What the F is wrong with you?" Reading his lips was as clear as day. And you'll see that video as soon as I get home on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. I am Dave Ettinger, the host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast, episode approximately 28 or 29. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you made it this far in the video. And you will see me tomorrow. Enjoy your Monday. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day out here in New York City, Long Island. It's now 6:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 29th. See what happens in the MLB trade deadline. I think it's going to get interesting, but I'm not entirely sure what the hell's about to happen. So stay tuned, my friends. Until then, see ya.